Great. Hey there. My name is Dennis. Welcome to the Experience Podcast. If this is your first time here, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. And also make sure that you check out all the links in the description. There are a lot of resources that are available to you for no cost, that are invaluable to your soul, that you will be infinitely grateful for. So make sure you check out the description of this video. And I'm really grateful to be here having this conversation with Neal. Yeah.
My name is Neal. We're here on the Experience Podcast, and it's so sunshiny out today. There's actually a breeze today. Right now, in this moment, I can hear birds chirping. I hear a cicada. I'm just filled with gratitude and grateful to be here and share my heart. And my brain, but specifically have where I'm speaking come via a heart communication. And I invite you every Wednesday at 3 p.m. We are doing a live stream on the Experience Podcast. So if you want to come and be here live and connect with us, join us at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That being said, if you're here for the entirety of this video today, we're going to encounter and interact with is two types of communication. One of them heart communication and one of them brain communication. So I'll start with like brain communication and unwrapping this a little bit. So brain communication. Brain communication is logical. It's what makes sense. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's like you can figure it out. It's the figure outer. It's the thing that it's mostly what science is based upon. Now, recently science has like spiritual aspects, especially when you get into quantum physics. But like as science came to be about, that's more logical. It's experimental, and then it's provable. Like, hey, this happens because of this. You plug this in, and this is the result every single time, no matter what. Super logical. Now, I don't know. I'll pause there. Maybe you have more to share with the brain before we go to heart. I don't know. I'll pause there and see. I want to check in with where you're at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The only other thing I would like to add is, like you mentioned, conversations, like conversations from the brain and conversations from the heart. With the heart specifically, I would like to add what is the way of being in your heart versus what is the way of being versus being in the brain. Yeah. So maybe adding the conversations and the ways of being, like what that looks like.
I can speak to ways of being from the brain, but I don't know exactly what you're saying in reference to conversation.
You articulated the brain, I think, very well. And
so, like, if I think of ways of being with the brain, usually it is more fast moving. It's more tappity, and this is because of being ungrounded a little bit. So like you're, rather than like feeling your feet, you're just like most of your conscious attention's in your head. So the way of being that is it's disconnected. It's not being fully in the body. There's like a disconnect between the spirit and the body when you're in your head. So disconnection is a way of being. Another way of being in your head. It is often controlling and manipulative. Um, and when you're in your head, the way of being is also significant. So looking to make a point. Um, when you're in your head, another way of being, a mode of operandus is um,
I'd like to add on to that.
yeah,
Like the
go.
modus operandus, like that way of being of operating from your brain can be very useful. Like if you're looking to accomplish a task and you have a team of people or people that are assisting you, like um, just using that as a tool to get the task done, whatever it is that you're looking to get done.
I got an example. So in the past, I judged the shit out of people controlling other people, and then how that came about is I noticed, oh wow, I like control other people, but I judge people who do that. And then when I found that out, I judged myself for controlling other people for a little bit, and then I let that go. And now I'm at a place where I recognize that I'm fantastic at controlling people, and I can use it as a resource. I don't judge it anymore. It's it. I can now control other people in service to accomplish a task with like what you're speaking to. It can questions you can use to direct people's focus, and um, by directing somebody's focus and clearly stating the intention of what is to accomplish, in a sense you're controlling the other person, having them see what you see and then produce something. And I just so happen to be growing in my capacity to do this. And I love that because it does function on occasion, but it's not all the time. And so, an example of using the brain is like accomplishing a task. This currently, I still use my brain to do this, and not always. It's the brain's not required to accomplish a task, but it does, and I do use it to function in this way.
That's really great. And what I'm also seeing with that is a person can be in their, like I can be in my heart and also utilizing my brain at the same time. Um, so, and that's what you actually just distinguished is you actually love using control to achieve tasks. And from that perspective, like you don't have any judgment. So I'm assuming that in from that space, you're actually in your heart.
I yes, I received this. I don't profess to know if this is the truth or not, but I do receive this, and this is what Greg Braden calls heart brain coherence. It's when your heart is aligned with your brain, and there's coherence, and that coherence is the most powerful way of operating here on earth. It's single mindedness. It's not the brain saying one thing and the intuition saying something else. It's the intuition saying what the brain is reinforcing,
This is,
and vice versa.
and what you just shared is the key. Like this, what Neal just shared is the most powerful way of being that a person can. Uh, it's the most powerful way of being. Is having that congruency of being, having your mind and your body and your actions congruent with who you say that you are. So you got to start with who the fuck you are before you can know how to completely be in congruency with your mind, your body, and your spirit and your actions. Um, yeah, that was really, really good. I had something, and I'm gonna wait because I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
In this moment.
So, transitioning now to heart communication. Um, Heart communication is where I've been speaking from this whole podcast. Um, if you've watched from the beginning, you're able to feel my heart right now. Um, I'm not saying this because like I think it might be so. I'm saying this because this is the truth. This is a felt experience that when I'm actually coming from my heart, you can feel that. It's not. I don't. I don't gotta speak to it to make it so. It's something tangible that can be felt. And so, heart communication is communication that can be communicated without having any thoughts in the brain. So, like, I can speak from my heart and not even bring my brain into the picture.
And something
Right.
I'm experiencing right now with you sharing is
Mhm.
that there's this openness and expansiveness
Right.
when you're speaking. So that's like what Neal just demonstrated there is literally speaking from the heart. It's opening, it's inviting, it's expansive.
Right. And yeah, and it's peaceful. And it's the internal way of being from the heart is slower, but how communication comes out might seem fast to the brain, but heart communication is slower. um, there's more depth to it, and it's, I believe, our access to divine expression. I think if we get in our head, we uh, there's a level of disconnect, whereas if we're in our heart, there's a level of connection. And um, heart communication is a child talking to a child. It is a if you can imagine two free children that have all the time in the world and all their future ahead of them, and a lot of inspiration, and then communication happens. And when this communication happens from that childlike state, uh, this is heart communication. Also, there's no trying with it. It's easeful. Uh, you can't force it, but you can just allow it to happen. Um, so that's what I have. Heart communication. And some ways of being that go along with it are peaceful, joyful, grateful, um, loving. Those are some ways of being that tie in with heart communication.
Um, what I was going to say earlier, and this ties into these ways of being from the heart, is faith. Faith is another big one. Fruits of the spirit are present when you're speaking from and being from the heart. Um, and a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And in James, there's I think 6 books in or 6 chapters in James, and I would highly, highly recommend reading it. I just read it the other night again, and just the prelude itself on faith was like, holy fucking shit. That faith without works is dead. I never read it from the perspective that I read it the other night, where I was like, wow, like if like I can use my mind to think of things and to create these worlds. And if I don't, if my outside reality is not showing up congruent with who I say that I am, um, like if I'm not being peace, love, joy, like all of these things, and I'm in my head and I'm judging and being a victim and or wanting to hero someone or whatever, um, I'm not being congruent. And that book in James is like what you were speaking about earlier, the heart brain coherence, like the congruency of being. Um, that it's a really great resource is what my point is. Really great resource. And if you're watching this video and you're like, my life sucks right now and I feel like I'm in hell, like hell is literally something that you put on your own shoulders. God created you as a child of God, and any weight that He put on your shoulders, you put there, or any weight that you feel on your shoulders, you put that on yourself. It wasn't God, and it's all a construct of the brain and the conversations of the brain. Hell is only created here.
And the programs.
Yes. The programs and the domestication and the indoctrination. So this, what we're speaking of, is a way to get from here, through the emotions into our heart. And if, like, I just invite you, that's what Neal and I do is we, or at least I'm just going to speak for myself, but I lead people. I don't lead people. I give people a path where they can go from a potential hell of the mind to feeling their feelings and into their heart, into the promised land. And you don't need money to do it. So.
Da, 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 da. I just saw something and I don't have it fully articulated, so I'm just going to let it rip and then see what happens. So so I'm going to articulate something and then go into it. So what I see is the mind is not the brain. So the brain is the organ that's inside your skull, and the mind is outside the body, but it also is received by the brain. So the mind I'm seeing as like Holy Spirit, like it's the connector. Like we're all in the field of the mind, and then the brain is picking up the mind and deciphering it, and then we articulate. And so now, and then there's the heart. But oftentimes, I've often spoke to the brain matrix, the matrix of all the programs, the things we've been programmed with, indoctrinated with, the things we've eaten. We don't just eat with our mouth; we eat with our ears, we eat with our eyes. So all this visual content we've consumed and all this auditory content, all those are programs that make up a construct, make up a matrix that is our brain. And it's where it's in here. It's not out there. We just use what's in here to create a story of what we see out there. And so now what I just noticed, I was like, is there a heart matrix? And I think the heart is the thing that transcends the brain matrix. I don't think the heart is a matrix. I think the heart is access to unconditional love, which is the thing that transcends all the programs. It's the thing that transcends all the stories from your aunt and your uncle. It's the thing that when you're in your heart and you're in unconditional love, that's what transcends this fear-based media. Like you don't even need to look at it anymore. Not because of ignoring it, but because of having seen it and having transcended any fear or resistance to that happening. And so the matrix is in the brain. This is what I'm now proposing. The matrix is in the brain. The heart is access, is the portal of unconditional love that gives one capacity to transcend this brain matrix. So that's it. Do you have more you want to share or speak to, Dennis? Or
on this topic, I don't. I do have some invitations. Like if you feel complete on that,
I do.
Okay, so I want to invite you guys on the 21st of January. There's an event called Doing Well While Doing Good. And what you're going to experience at this event is a way that you can earn money outside of the current Babylonian poverty war machine. This is a way that you can earn money that you don't need to pay taxes on because it's outside of the matrix. So, and it's also a way that you can free yourself from the matrix. So that is January 21st. There's another event after that. I'm not sure the exact.
Who wants to be free of the matrix? So show up to that event.
Yes. And there's another event where so we just got done planting over 1,000 fruit trees like 7 months ago, and all kinds of exotic trees, all kinds of exotic fruits, berries, bananas, and on this property we're selling lots. And this is a lot that you can actually buy physically here in Costa Rica, where you can build your own home on. And
like a land lot, like property.
And so I want to invite you to that. That's the event for that is called Off Grid Dream Life, and you'll find that at offgriddreamlife.com. All these links are going to be in the description.
Who here wants to be somebody that's free of the matrix and just living your dream in community with other people, filled with peace, with an open heart? There we go. well, join that event. You're invited. Is there more for you, Dennis,
No.
or is that all right? Well, beings, you got your invitations. Thank you so much for being you. I love you. I honor you. And with that, peace.